There's an American series based on a true story that I watched recently, The Shrink Next Door. It's about a man, Matty, wealthy but emotionally vulnerable, who starts seeing a therapist. And over time, the therapist doesn't just counsel him, it takes over his entire life. He isolates Marty from his family, his friends, his love interest, moves into his house, takes over his finances for 30 years. Now, Marty was the one who made all these decisions. He was the one who cut his family out of his life. He relinquished his house. He allowed Dr. Ike, the therapist, access to his finances. He made all these decisions. But can we say that was a free choice? A fully conscious and autonomous decision? It's the Fat Show. Welcome to the Fat Show. My name is Mariam. How was your week, guys? Mine was spent thinking about the concept of choice, the ability to choose something over the other, ice cream or smoothie. If only life were that simple. What makes a person capable of making a choice? When do we consider the context within which a choice is made? And how do we, as a society, judge people's choices? What makes an individual capable of making a true choice? Two things: awareness and agency. When a person has awareness, it means they are able to see, they are able to understand, they are conscious of their internal states and their external environments. Their internal states, their needs, their desires, their wants, and their external environments. They are fully conscious of their circumstances, the options available to them, and the consequences of whatever action they decide to take. The second is agency. A person with will, with the ability to do what they want. A person that has less awareness, but they have agency, is a child, but they have limited awareness. They are not fully conscious. Do not fully understand their internal states and the consequences of their actions. You would not allow your 3-year-olds to cross the road unattended because do not fully understand the implication of that. Same with a person with a delusional mental disorder or a cult member under indoctrination. Their perception of reality has been deeply altered, so their awareness is low, despite the fact that they have agency, they have the ability to act in line with their awareness under constraints. But for a person who has awareness but low agency, that's when we have a poverty stricken mother, an abused partner. Marty was isolated and his perception of reality was severely distorted. He really believed that his relationship with Dr. Ike was completely normal. He also had low agency. His sense of self had been beaten down for years, even before meeting Dr. Ike and after meeting Dr. Ike, from emotional manipulation and dependence. It might look like we're trying to excuse someone's behavior, but no, that's not the case. They should take responsibility for their actions. Actions have consequences. You should be willing to bear the weight of whatever action you've taken. But despite that, we can still acknowledge the severe pressure someone can be in under which they make these choices. It could be severe internal pressure like fear, manipulation, diminished self worth, or severe external pressure like poverty, social isolation, physical threats, and all these pressure, other choices can seem inaccessible to you. When taking a leave from work could risk you losing your job, not having a job to pay for your bills, and being homeless, that option is no longer an option you can take. The pressure of financial loss has ripped your agency from you to some extent. Still, we might argue that your choice is still your choice. It's not like you had a gun to your head. Oh, so we agree that the threat of physical harm or loss of life is enough to decide that the choices you make then are not actually your choice. So if we can understand a man who had a gun to his head, why don't we understand a man who was drowning in fear? Or the woman crushed by poverty? Or a person paralyzed by psychological control? Is it because physical coercion is easier to see, but emotional coercion is invincible to some extent. So we don't we judge them differently. Before we ask the question, hey, but you had a choice, you could have left. Why don't we first take a look at in whose hands the power lies and what exactly is the cost of saying no? This is not saying that people who do horrible things under duress, physical or emotional duress. This is not saying that they should be excused. Actions have consequences, and that holds true for every adult. But we can still look at people in their entirety. We can still look at the context within which a choice was made. And we can show more compassion. They can still bear the consequences while still understanding and showing sympathy, having compassion for the decision they've made, for the choice they had to make. It's simply just being human and seeing humanity with a wide lens and just seeing everyone as humans. Let me know what you think in the comments and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, my name is Maria.